All right. Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here, and welcome to our Tuesday stream. It is Tuesday now, so it is going to be an event preview. And Con William Deep, welcome to the stream. You're the first one here, and I just wanted to say thanks for joining me here. And so let's take a look, right? So it's been a few days since I last streamed a legendary content, so I'm looking forward to coming back and talking to you guys and discussing the deck as well as the mechanics, etc. I'm going to move the mic just a little bit so that I can see a little bit better. Let me know if you can still hear okay. All right. So we got Chromosux as well as Farafin, Johnny Tables, and T Martinez. Welcome to the stream here. And glad to be here. Glad to be talking to you guys about the game and also the upcoming deck for the Fire Slayer. Now, Fire Slayer is actually generally one of my favorite events. Like, Fire being one of my favorite affinities for a while. As you know, I have Ray. All 5 of my Rays are Ascended. I've got one of my favorite cards here, Despos of Despair. Like, I always look forward to using him. The other really good card that we have is also the Fire, the Fire Yokai deck right here, the Blitzkrieg Beast. These are just some of the really fun decks that I really enjoy using. So I was really looking forward to this event until I saw the cards that are available, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. So we are going to talk about the cards. I'm going to give you my feelings on just where the game is at right now with the deck building and what my thoughts are for this particular event. And so we've got also Noelia, Zuzu MacDuck, Timothy, and Chimeng Ong as well. So Reaper and Husky, everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And so let's see. Chromosux. So are you enjoying the era? I've been actually doing streams for that game every day now, and I was mentioning in the previous stream, a lot of the bigger time YouTubers actually have started making videos about that game, which is funny because I actually started earlier. Now they probably played it before me, but they didn't start making videos until recently, and so I get to say I started before you guys. Anyways, I haven't opened any packs just yet. I am going to do that as soon as I talk about the deck here. Now, so this deck has there's a couple things going for this deck. Number one, it's fire. And number two, it's dragon, right? And well, it's Slayer. It's Slayer, dragon, and it's fire. So all things considered, one of my favorite events, which is always going to be the Fire Slayer. But the thing is, this particular deck is exactly the same as the deck from the last Earth Slayer deck. So if we take a look at the cards here, right? So Flame-Worthy Saviors, it is a attacker card, which is good because attackers have higher attack value so they can deal more damage and also heal a little bit better. And the thing is, this deck is has the same mechanic in that it's an on-hit deck, in that it's a 3-turn deck. So if you take a look at the battle skill, what it does is it applies raise to 3 Fire Slayers, and then it will which does the following: it creates 2 Firepower Gem 4s every time the hero attacks. And so what this does is it will basically allow 4 total Fire Slayer in your particular deck to create 2 Firepower Gem 4s. So that essentially means you get to create 8 Power Gem 4s total, but only after the battle skill has been applied and only when you attack. And so if you think about it, turn 1, you charge up your skills. Turn 2, you use up your battle skill. And then turn 3 is when your power gems actually appear. And that is when you can actually match all of your power gems. Now, there's also a passive ability that will increase the attack of the Slayers. And attack boosts generally work better in Slayer events because the boost is multiplicative, as opposed to commander events where the attack boost is additive. And so the change to your damage output is actually a lot more significant in Slayers, and it goes up to 36%. It's interesting because they keep changing these numbers around. Sometimes they see a 40%, sometimes 50, now it's 36. It doesn't feel like they have a good sense of just how much they want to keep the the attack boost. I kind of wish that it would just be a little bit consistent, because those little percentages, they actually alter the deck's ability, the deck's power level, slightly. And I would have preferred it to be more linear and also more predictable, so that it's easy for us to sort of expect certain type of output. But anyways, that's the ultimate form. By itself, this is exactly the same as the Timeless Lovers except it was doubled, and it's actually exactly the same as the last Earth Slayer deck. So if you play with the last Earth Slayer, if you've heard me talk about this deck last Earth event, you'll know that I'm not a big fan. So I am definitely not a fan of this. And so right off the bat, I'm going to say, if you have the cards, if you pull the cards, I still recommend that you go a couple of tiers to get dust and to, hopefully get the cards. You should not, you should use them, obviously, but you have to be careful about the skills that the cards have. And we're going to talk about those. So if you want to use this deck for its abilities, then the first thing you're going to have to know is that it's going to be slow. The second thing that you have to think about is the fact that the Master Collection card, Havia, is a card that does nuke damage. Okay, so its battle skill will create 5 Power Gem Force, which is good by itself, but then it does a nuke damage of up to 250% of attack if there's 6 Power Gem Force or more on the board. Now, here's the thing, right? On paper, it looks like, oh, that's good. You can create 5 power gems, and then it requires 6 anyways, so then you should be fine. But the problem is, in order to charge up this deck, and in order to really be effective in a Slayer event, you basically have to charge this up with a full board of gems or close to it. You're never going to get away with a situation where you are left with no power gem force on the board by the time you activate the skill. And so you're always going to nuke. And whenever you nuke, you lose your spot in the Slayer queue. That means other people are going to come and take out that boss before you can. And so then the alternative is to not use this card. And that is just such a waste. It basically, you just have a card that's sitting there, and all you're doing is, you're using it to deal some damage. And you're actually relying on other cards to do the damage for you. So it's just such a waste to me. And I just feel like there's no place for this kind of a nuke deck in a Slayer event. Either that, or they should take away that whole mechanic where as soon as you nuke, you lose your place in the queue. Like, I just feel like that just needs to go away so that we can enjoy our decks more, right? Like, keeping this in here after we've given feedback is just, it's not something that I enjoy seeing. Like, we've talked about this in the past. Slayer decks are super fun because they are fast. We're competing against other people, and there's a reason why we want the event deck, so we can go quick, take out the big bosses, go in, fight, and be as fast as possible. But then the person who actually invests and gets the event deck and then loses their place all the time in these world bosses and these umbral bosses, these just times where speed is everything. This kills that flow. It kills the rhythm, and it doesn't. There's nothing worse than getting in on a big boss, getting a big attack lined up, hit the nuke, and suddenly the boss is dead in front of your eyes. So to me, this is how I feel about the deck. It's just that I got the Master Collection card last event and I didn't use it at all. And so I wouldn't put this card in the deck, to be honest with you. Okay. And so this is not the deck to chase at all. No Love Lost. It is a deck that I feel you should be happy about if you get the ultimate form, because you do get the chaotic killer bonus. It is going to be useful, and at least the ultimate form won't nuke. It's the Master Collection card that's going to give you problems. And so, let's see, Mount Fillmore, you think Network caught on how free player are only buying Slayer decks and now they're rolling out these crummy Slayer decks. I honestly don't know. I feel like I want to give them a benefit of doubt and say that they actually think it's a good deck and that's why they want to roll it out. And also they probably just want to even out sort of the affinities. But to me, I've already said it before, this ultimate form in its previous version, the Water Slayer version, the Timeless Lovers, it's the weakest one of all. The second one is the Hellboys. Those two are the weakest ultimate forms. And then we had also the Dark version, the Monarchs. Those three are ones that I have, I don't use. And now we have Earth and Fire, so I hope that there's no more of these type. Anyways, let's go finish and talk about the rest of the cards for those of you who may not who may not be familiar with this mechanic. I will talk about it, and I will talk about what are good cards. All right. So battle skill, Rubble and Ash, which applies as raise to 3 Fire Slayers, and this version of raise will create Power Gem 3s every time the hero attacks. And it has a passive ability that creates 2 Fire Power Gem 3s. Now, this card is actually a really good card. If you think about it, you're basically guaranteed to have 2 Power Gem 4s every time you attack, and it gives you the ability to give other people the ability to create Power Gems. And so the ultra rare card and the ultimate form cards, these two are actually, they're okay. It's the Master Collection card that really sort of doesn't have a spot on the on your team, but the as an ultimate form card though, it is so weak compared to the other cards. The only thing it has going for it is the fact that it has the killer bonus that you can apply to all the other cards. But the ultra rare card here, it's not bad, right? Like compared to some of the other ultra rare cards, I think it's still a little bit weaker. Like, like the Gemfall deck, for example, the ultra rare card gives you so many more power gems. This one is going to be a lot weaker in comparison, but still better than Master Collection card. So if you were to pull one of the two, I hope that you get the ultra rare card, but I still don't think that it's worth crafting. So like I would save the dust. Okay. So my thing is, ultra rare card is better than Master Collection card, but not good enough to chase and not good enough to spend your dust on. That's my feeling. And it's a shame because I usually like Fire Slayer events, and I was hoping to fill out my deck. And, unfortunately, it's just not a deck that I'm excited about. But there is something else that's good, though. In general, what I've been really advocating for is getting killer bonus skills for all of our cards, and now we finally have them. We started with the last light commander deck, and now we have it for the Fire Slayer deck, so I'm actually really happy about this. So this makes this cards, even the support cards, more powerful than the other ones. And actually for free-to-play players, this is what I will say. As a deck, I don't like the Master Collection card, but I like the Ultra Rare card, and the support card is also really good. So the support card will give you the ability to create 3 firepower gems and also apply this to 3 other Slayers. So in essence, when you apply this battle skill, a single support card will be able to create up to 12 fire gems. But it is a turn 3 deck, but if you're free to play and you only have support cards, this is not a bad card to use. And it also creates 3 fire gems by itself. And so having 2 support cards means you basically fill up the board, and that is going to at least give you some additional damage. And plus it has the chaotic killer bonus, and so you're going to see more damage out of these support cards than you've ever seen in a support card before. And so to me, I actually think that these are the good things. So I will talk about the good things for this deck. I love the fact that they gave out, killer bonus skills for main hero as well as the support hero. And the main hero this time is going to be called Torben, and this is going to be even less useful, to be honest with you, because it's going to be a card that creates 4 power gem once. And it also nukes if there are 6 or more power gem 4s on the board. So this is probably at least better if you are running only support cards and event cards. So if you're running only support cards and event cards, then you're less likely to have 6 or more firepower Gen 4s on the board anyway. So you should be able to freely use this card. And so it is one of those things where, like, as long as you don't have cards that can generate a lot of firepower, then this is actually a good card for you because it at least gives you the 4 power gem once, and it doesn't nuke, so you don't lose spot in your deck if you're like. Especially if you need the 3 key a boss, the best thing you can do is to preserve that spot and not lose it. And so this card will be okay to use. And it has a Slayer skill, so you're going to deal more damage there as well. So overall, this is a sort of good and bad in that if you do have this deck, then congratulations, you have a card with a chaotic killer bonus, and you can use that in the future to boost all of your other fire cards. But unfortunately, it's going to be much slower compared to some of the other options that everyone else will probably be running these events. And I'm going to talk about what other cards you're going to be going up against and what you have to do. So I'm just going to take a minute to read the comments here. So Vishal, it's a sad deck that you have is super useful in combination with Despots and Alliance, but to get the ultimate form, you need to use the Dust to craft the Master. So yeah, so then by themselves, they're not that great. I actually have at times used the Hellboy ultimate form as well as the Monarchs and also Timeless Lovers for the Proving Grounds, placing them with Yokai as well as the double nuke cards. And they are just there for the ultimate gem. That's all they are for. So it's just a little bit unfortunate. And I'm going to go ahead and collect these cards here. And in terms of the support, sort of the collection cards, Galena's a really good card, but she is not available in any of the dust shops, unfortunately. This is too new of a card. Like, they stopped updating the dust shop, so you're not going to be able to get her. So hopefully they'll run this again in the guild, in the Drill Fist shop on Friday or Saturday. And so if it is, then you'll at least be able to purchase her if you're looking for the shiny. And the other card that's really good, Bestiarius, was one of my favorite cards as well. This card is also very useful in that it will also passively create power gems every time you, like basically every single turn, regardless of whether you attack or not, as long as there's a power gem on the board. So even though this is a Generation 2 card, it has a couple of really good things about it. It will boost all warriors, and it can also it boosts honor and it boosts warrior. So too bad that this is not a fire honor deck, but it is a card that I think is good to use, especially for all honor heroes. So it's still a card that has a lot of sort of value that you can retain. Also, Motley is another event card, so it also needs to be. You can also get it from the 100 Dust Shop. So this card is available, but it is also a card that is from Generation 2. So it's not going to be great, but it does help increase attack, but only for spirit heroes. So fire spirits like your Despots of Despair actually will get powered up by this card pretty good. So you can use this card if you're using Despot type deck. Those fire spirit decks will actually get a damage boost. So these two cards are good, and Galena unfortunately won't be able to get, but she's a gem destroyer, so I like using that as well. So overall, pretty good support cards for the collections. So if you're running just support cards, let's say you have let's say you're free to play, and the only options you have are a couple of support cards and one of these 3 collection cards, they're actually not bad to use. So I will explain how they are used in an upcoming video there as well. And so let's see. So Skippy Sound, you wanted me to explain the emptying out the vault on tier 8. I'm actually just getting to that now. So they announced that tier 7 gives you the guaranteed ultra rare, right? So now we have 8 tiers, looks like. Tiers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically what this means is tier 7 is the last tier that has any guarantees. Tier 8 essentially is the same as another tier 7, but they had to sort of get this new tier introduced so that they could say, well, there's a tier with a guarantee. They couldn't do that. It'll be confusing to say, oh, first time you get to tier 7, you get a guarantee card. Every single tier 7 afterwards, you don't. Like, they would just confuse a lot of people. So it's actually smart of them to introduce a new tier, and I'm glad that they didn't make it more expensive. Otherwise, I think people would be really, really upset. And so tier 7, you get a guaranteed ultra rare card. This is also good for those people who generally go deep in the vault anyway, because the ultra rare card is not a guarantee. I've heard so many stories of people going, around the world multiple times, tier 7, 5, 6, 7 times and not getting it, or practically emptying out the vault and finally getting the ultra rare near the end. This will actually save those people money down the road. And so this is a good thing also for big spenders. So this is also another positive, I think, from this perspective. So that's what it means. Tier 8 is just another tier 7. It just doesn't have the guarantee. And so Phoenix, this deck would be brilliant for commander events. So the Macrine deck, that was a really nice event. So we will have to try it out. So I did use this once. I used a Hellboy deck in a commander event, but I think that what you're really going to enjoy is using this deck along with Quildrak. So I'm going to open the packs and we'll talk about some possibilities that this deck does have, and then we can discuss more. So Chromosuck's Galena is the only one out of the 3 they have. Well, that's good because the other 2 cards are available in the Dust Shop, and so I hope that what you get from your from your trophies collection, if you're looking for the shiny, is actually Ozomatli, because it is really easy to pull Bestiarius. Okay, so in fact, this is the Master Collection version of the card here. Okay, and so let's see. We're gonna go ahead and open some pack now. So I can open to pack tier 4, but I really don't want to. I actually really want to save my gems, and I only plan to open up to tier 3. I actually want to save as much gems as I can, so that I could I could save it for the next event. So not going to be very exciting. We'll see what happens in 3 tiers. Like I am not going after tier 4, especially if I don't have the Master Collection card, or the only time I will consider going for it is if I pull a full team within 3 tiers. If I don't get the full team within 3 tiers, I'm not going tier 4. So we do get a relic, so that's good. This is sort of my my thing right now. Just I seem to be able to pull relics, so that is a good thing. Use only tier 1. I need to at least get the ultra rare dust, right? And so this will get me 1,000 Master Collection dust, and I'll do tier 2 and tier 3. So that gives me at least some dust to play with. And yeah, Vishal, fingers crossed. I did get my relic, so that's good. And definitely not doing tier 4. Tier 3 is all I'm going to do. I don't even know if I want to do tier 3, to be quite honest with you. Although I earned some gems from doing the silver trial bosses. And so I earned 1,000 gems total doing about 10 different silver bosses. And so you should consider doing that to earn some gems as well. So that did sort of make me feel a little bit better about opening this. All right. So what we've got here is I've got 5,500 gems. And I said I was going to go tier 3, so I will go there. But I was actually contemplating just like, So thank you, William D, for what you're saying. But like, I think that I'll go with my word, but I'm definitely not going further. Because even if I get the full deck, I could still consider waiting for the trophy rewards. And so here's the other relic. So I get 2 relics there. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, so basically, I got options, right? So this is going to be it. Come on, so nothing. So pretty much that is it, right? So let's go ahead and stop right there. That is actually 1,400 gems that I consider wasted, to be honest with you. And I do appreciate everybody saying to stop. And did think about that a lot. So what am I going to keep, right? So I've got Torben. I think that is the support card and fire. So is this the event? No, that's the support card. Did they just change names? Oh no, this is the event card. So I got an event card and I got a support card. So I wouldn't have needed to go to tier 4 anyway. And so let's just go ahead and clear out some of the cards here. So we're going to go and clear these cards. Oh, I just need to clear 2. Okay. And then we'll figure out what to do afterwards. Let me make sure I don't clear out ones I shouldn't. Yeah, so that's just 40 dust. So I also didn't have much luck anyway, except I did get 1 additional relic. And I think to Colin William Deep's point, I already got 1 relic. I should have just stopped there. I could have just stopped at tier 1. Actually, I needed to go to tier 2 to balance out my dust. And I think I only pulled 800 dust on tier 3. So overall, that just wasn't very good. So Westworld, like if you pull tier 1, then that'll be good for you as well, because then you can get the ultimate. And so here's what I can do, right? I actually did get the other ultimate form from the previous event. And so if you take a look, this deck would work for me, although it's sort of like the same thing. So if you take a look, I have this right here. But this card also nukes. And that is the thing that frustrates me to no end. Like I took a look at this event deck and said, oh, I have the final formation. I can use that. Then I realized that when you use this card, it automatically nukes as well. So so there's no way to get around it. Either way, you're going to be you're going to be going around one way or another, you're going to be nuking. Okay, unless you use the ultimate form of this particular event, then at least you're okay. But if you're using the Master Collection card of this event, or if you're using the Ultra Rare card from the previous event, then you're going to be nuking, and there's just no winning there. But I can at least use the other card. So I'm just going to be using that just for the Slayer bonus, and then I'm not going to even bother with it, honestly. I am just going to do this. And this is why I invest in these decks. Like, I was so happy to invest in these decks because these two are all I'm ever going to need in any Fire Slayer event. And I've got pretty much all the... I believe I've almost got all of the Ultimate Killer bonus covered. And if I don't, it's okay. And I'm just going to run with this. And I suppose I could also use the couple event cards, right? Like, even though I don't really want to, like, I think I'll probably just add one more line here just for, I might actually just do this. Like, who am I kidding? Like, I'm not going to use the event cards at all. Like, they, if I wanted more damage, I could, but I'm going to get more than enough damage with this deck right here that I'm probably not going to worry about it. For those of you who don't have other options, though, then I would definitely recommend using the support card over the Master Collection card, or you should use the Master Collection card. But if you're looking for speed, if you're looking to beat others in your boss fights, then you can't use it. That's really a shame. You have to sort of like you sort of have to think about what is your firepower. So my recommendation here is, if you're not looking to get MVP, and if you're not, if you're just going to be trying to take out bosses, then you should just lock all the bosses that you see, and then you can take out bosses and you can use whatever cards you want. But if you're looking to take out other people's bosses and you're trying to get MVP on those Cobalt bosses, for example, then you can never use the Master Collection card. You can never do the nuke, or you're never going to get it. Like, there's just no way, unless you have a way to get a turn 1 damage. And the way that you want to do that, if you want a turn 1 deck, this actually might work better, right? So if you want a turn 1 deck, so you want this, and you might actually want to consider doing something like this. Put all of those cards, and you might want to even put a Ray in here. So what this will do is, this is going to be the deck that will give you all of the power gems that you need on turn 1, because this will give you 4 power gem 2s on turn 1. So here's 1, 2, 3. So that's 12 power gem 2s. Plus you also have Ray that creates 4 power gem 1s. So you can get actually 16 power gems plus your relic. So you can 21 power gems on turn 1. So this deck actually will give you more power gems. Now I think I have another. I do have another one. So I don't need Ray here. I would actually use this. And then couple that with the Slayer bonus. Then this is going to be the turn 1 deck that will allow you to just go in, deal enough damage, and not even worry about activating any power gems. So this is actually going to be the best type of deck for this type of event. So Slayers, like this one, you can just go in and you don't even need to worry about losing your MVP, because you literally can just go in with this deck and you either get MVP or you go in too late and you don't get it anyway. But this will be fast. This is going to be the fastest deck I can think of for this particular event. If you have this deck with this kind of with this setup, then you're golden. If you don't have as many of the roll dash cards, then the other alternative would be actually Ray. And even, I'm trying to think, is there any other fire cards that passively create? I think these are it for the Fire Slayer cards. So these are going to be really, really great. Okay, so that's my recommendation here. You could use like cards like the Baleful Bride or Carl. They also give you passive gem spawn, but they are power gem 1s, and they're generation 2, so they're not going to deal as much damage. This is going to be the best combination right here. So Rock D 241. If you don't have the final formation card, so Sausage, what's his full name again? Sausage. Sergeant Sausage. It's going to give you a good chunk of power gems, so you can get 8 power gem 4s. So it's not going to be slow. At least like with Sergeant Sausage, it will be a turn 2 deck, and it will give itself a 200% bonus, and so you'll deal more damage with that card. So what you want to do then is you'll want to use that deck. To try to get the power gems you need. But really, I'm using the final formation just for the killer bonus. That's all I'm doing it for. And now Fairmore, by the way, did you know the ultra rare from the last event wasn't countering fear on Punisher bosses? Oh, was it really? I think it has to do with the skill level, right? I think their fear was at level 6 maybe, and then it has a lower chance of dispelling. So I don't know. So West will give you your 5th Fire Slayer. So you're gonna get 5 Fire's Ultimate Relics. That's good. Come William D, you only bought 3 tiers. You're not gonna even try the dailies. That is exactly what I'm not gonna do either. I'm also not going to spend my gems on the dailies. I tried last event. I actually did try last event to get the light commander event, and I got so tired of pulling absolutely nothing that I just stopped. So I spent 2,000 gems total, pulled two of the 500 gems, and I might even have spent more. But at least two of those packs. Then I did another 1,000 gem pack, and all I got were keys and shields. So I basically said, you know what? I didn't even bother crafting the deck. I have the dust for it now, and I just decided to save for it. I was pretty tired of that, so I didn't do it. It was a good deck though. That was a really good deck to have, but unfortunately I couldn't. So Drill Fist Deal Depot. I hope that they're going to convert that to the fire Gemfall deck, because that's where you're going to be able to get Galena. And the Dust Shop that I was mentioning, this is where you're going to be able to get the two other cards. So if you go to the Dust Merchant, the 20 Dust Shop is where you can get Bestiarius, and then the 100 Dust Shop is where you're going to get Ozomatli. Lena McCoy, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining us here. And Westful, you don't have the Piggy's ultimate form. You do have the full Despo and Fire Lightning decks. So what would be the fastest? So if you are talking turn 1, then you're going to want to put as many Despos on it as you can, even without the killer bonus. I think having all of those power gems on the board is going to deal significant damage. The Lion decks is, I believe, the killer bonus for the secondary the secondary killer bonus is going to be immortal, right? Because this was the last Fire Slayer deck, and so there are going to be some bosses that will be weak to the Blitzkrieg Beast, and so you will at least be able to take advantage of that. So I would probably do 2 teams. I would set up a team that has this ultimate form, but then I would just fill it up with Rodash and the Despos of Despair afterwards. Like, that's the best setup I can think of. It's just that, what you want to do is you want to have, one card that gives you the bonus, and then the other cards that give you the passive gem spawn. Those are the best type of cards to have in any Slayer event, because it makes you very competitive. It allows you to go into a boss and just quickly deal damage, and you can just get out. And so Malformer, it didn't even work at all. Oh, that's too bad. I never used it. So I guess I just didn't realize that. I was able to deal enough damage to the Punisher bosses because I had the K-pop deck, and that's all I used. And so it was good. And Chroma sucks. I did sell the unicorn, huh? I sold the what was it? Astral and Amocles. It was a Gen 2 card. I don't use it anymore anyways. And so I probably sound, a lot harsher about this particular deck than I mean to. But to be honest, if you don't have any other options, like if you don't have a good Fire Slayer deck to begin with, and you wanted something that you could use, having an ultimate form is always going to be good. So I am going to be honest about that. Having an ultimate form is still better than not having it. I'm really just being picky about the fact that when you get the event card, you want to be competitive. And the problem is you're going to lose out against other people who have a different type of deck that is going to be faster. So now the problem is it is a 3-turn deck plus the nuke damage from the Master Collection card puts you at a disadvantage. But the Ultimate Form card will always be a good card because of the killer bonus that it does provide. And so if you have other Slayer cards that you can put in there, you can still build something around it. And so my recommendation here is don't go deep into this vault unless you really want it. But I still wouldn't recommend you do it. But if you wanted to go after it, know that you will at least get a guaranteed Master Collection card by tier 6, and then a guaranteed Ultra Rare card by tier 7. And so that is going to be basically, you can calculate how much you're gonna spend. So basically you're gonna be spending 1,100, 1,650, 1,900, 2040, 2110, and you're going to be spending about 2,200 gems. Okay, so 2,200 gems up to tier 7. That is close to $200 US. Do I think it's worth it? I don't personally think so, but typically would go that deep anyway, then good news is you're guaranteed to have an ultimate form. So if you have it, use it. I think that's great. If you don't have it, there are alternatives. And if you have, let's say, one of the older cards, like from the Piggies deck, then you might as well use the Proving Grounds coins to get yourself the ultimate form for free. Like, that would be my recommendation. Just go for it. Go for free. But remember, if you are going to convert your Master Collection card to a soul, what you want to do is you actually want to ask for the soul, and then before you craft the ultimate form, buy the cards back, then you forge the ultimate form. That's how you can get both cards. So that would be my recommendation there. And so let's see. So we got Chinny Device. We got is that a banana? Bananas, monkey bananas. You're in tree, right? Monkey tree? I do want to check out the various guilds at some point. So let me know if you guys have openings. I will. I'll start looking around. Just kind of check it out. So let me know. And Vishal, absolutely not. No, thank you. And let's see. So yeah, it's just, if you can save the gems this event, save it. Next event might be a good deck to use. There could be, who knows? There might be another. It might be a Water Halloween, right? So because the next event is going to be a Water Commander event. Who knows what it's going to be like? We've already seen the K-pop version of it, and I'm not sure if we have reset. I don't think we have reset for Water, so it's going to be either reset or Halloween. So we'll see what that's going to be like. But definitely don't go deep this event. Li Shang, is it possible for you to walk through the process of submitting to the support on how to turn the old Master Collection card ultimate form into Soul? Sure, I can do that. So this is what I did. And I actually had a video that I captured, and I will probably just upload that as well. So this is what I did, right? So I basically said, let's get a old Generation 3 card. And what I have here is, I'm going to change the H to this. So an old Generation 3 card, and that is going to be a Master Collection card. So let's say I wanted to use Aswang. And so what you do is take a picture. So take a screenshot of this first, nothing else. This is for your personal record. And then what you can do is go to the support page by going all the way down to the bottom of your store screen. And if you see there's a little blue person, when you tap on this, it'll be taken to a request page. So when you go here, it takes you to the network zendesk.com, and then in here you can just click here, a little three arrows, and then you can submit a request. When you submit a request, then simply tell them exactly what card you want them to convert to a soul. Then you're going to get an email back afterwards. You can even attach a picture if you wanted to. Then they're going to email you and say, hey, I got your request. You want it to convert X card into a soul. Is that correct? You respond back with yes. Then you're going to see then you're going to see your soul in your inbox. You can claim a soul or not. You don't have to, but basically you get the soul and your card's gone. Once the card is gone, just go back to the codex, look for the card again, and you can buy it back, right? So you can do Generation 3, we can do Dark, Gen 3, and I know that it's a corrupt card, so that we can make it easier for me to search for it. And that's the counter I want to type. And then there I can say click on this, and then it'll give you the option to buy it back if you don't have the card anymore. Buy it back. Once you've bought back all the cards you need, then you go ahead and you forge the ultimate form, and that's what you need to do. Okay, so that's the... Wait, Water had reset already? Barbarossa. Another deck that I didn't remember because I didn't have the cards. So it's going to be either a new mechanic or it's going to be Halloween, I think. So let's see. Yeah, so Vishal, thanks for also filling in the information there. So that is pretty much all you need to do. Okay, and when you go to the Proving Ground store, whatever you buy there is going to have a soul now, so you don't have to worry about that. And so, I guess what I will say here is I'm still looking forward to a fun Fire Slayer event. Slayer events are more fun for me than Commander events, just because it's more exciting. There's more things to do. But it's just unfortunate that I just don't feel excited about this particular deck. And at least I was awarded with an additional relic, which is good. I'm going to go ahead and collect my dust as well. And like I said, the collection cards this time, they aren't bad to help support you with this event. And support cards are going to be useful if you don't have anything else. If you don't have anything else, support cards are still fine, and I will come up with an idea for you guys on how to use it. And you can see here, I'm going to have the dust to craft both of these, but I'm not going to use it. I would rather use this on either the next Fire Slayer event, or I might choose to use it in the Fire Commander event. So that remains to be seen. I do have the, the other, I don't remember it anymore, but the K-pop version of the fire deck, so I'm good there too. But this gives me options. So like, I'm fine. I'm set this event. I'm good. I really wish I could have used another card to fill in, but Piggies is fine, right? It's an ultimate form, and honestly, you don't really need to have multiple ultimate forms that have exactly the same killer skill because they don't stack. If they stack, there's a different story, but they don't stack, and so just pick the one that you like. And this one isn't going to be as good, then don't use it. That's how I feel about it. And it's alternate image gaming. Do people feel that getting the killer bonus is worth even if the deck is kind of weak? The killer bonus is always going to be worth it, even if the deck itself is weak, because simply having the killer bonus is automatically going to make it 4 times stronger than any other cards that you have. Plus, during the event, you're going to have that much more of a leg up. And if you have a killer skill, but you don't have the event deck, then it will put it on the same... in fact, it will be a little bit better, because if you think about it, during the event, your cards are going to be 10 times if you have the event card, and the regular, and then off event, you're going to be 4 times. So you're going to be about 2.5 times weaker. Killer bonus gives you a 4 times damage boost. Okay, and all things considered, you're still going to be empowered. So that part's the same. And if you are going to be empowered, and also you have a 4 times damage boost, you're actually going to be out damaging a regular event card. If you think about that, okay? And a regular event card that now has a the only different, but now that they're introducing killer bonus on all cards, it's going to even out a little bit. But prior to this, a card that is not event with the killer bonus is still going to out damage an event card without the killer bonus. And so that's why it's super important to have the killer bonus. But once you have one of that particular affinity, then there's less of a need, really, I would say, to really go all out to get it. And so you don't have this killer, so you could still try and get a next Fire Slayer event if you really wanted to. That would be in 10 weeks. But honestly, I just kind of feel like it's one of those things where chasing after the killer bonus isn't as necessary either. It's just that it's going to give you a leg up. And Rent-A-Tux, how to use this deck? You have the entire deck, including the shiny. I don't think I can show you right now, but what I can do is I can build you a similar deck. I'm going to use the one I said is the worst. So let's go ahead and use water, right? So we're going to use water, and I don't mean to really, say that it's really that bad. I actually really love these cards because it's my first ultimate form ever. But basically, this is how you would use this. You would basically, and where are all my cards? They're like basically all down here. So the cards that you want to activate at the same time are going to be, where are they? Where are you? Did I get rid of you? No, I didn't, right? So let's say you have this, and I won't have the Master Collection card to show you because when I formed my ultimate form, it got eaten. The cards that you want to activate first are going to be your ultra rare cards and support cards and your ultimate form. So after turn 1, you basically activate all of your support cards and your ultra rare plus your ultimate form. And then you do an attack. Then after you do an attack, all of your power gems are going to spawn, and then you simply just swipe your power gems, and then you take out the boss. You never activate a Master Collection card, just never, okay? Because as soon as you activate your Master Collection card, your boss is dead. So don't do that. Instead, just activate everything, and then do your power gem swipe, and then hope for the best. That's how you play this deck. But if you're super fast, then you could probably compete, but it is always going to be a turn 3 deck unless you just use all of your Master Collection cards on turn 2 to generate the power gems and take the chance that your nuke skill isn't going to make your boss be taken out by somebody else, and you can turn that into a turn 2 deck. So really easy. It's just turn 1 match gems, turn 2 activate support card, ultra rare card, ultimate form card, and turn 3 match gems. That's all you need to do. Never activate Master Collection card. So that's pretty much all it is to this deck. So Chinny advised, any plan to get some holiday this coming Christmas and New Year? When you say get some, do you mean like get some good cards or something? Or my plans for this holiday? I'm not sure. Not sure about the holidays just yet. I'm looking forward to a good Christmas celebration with Legendary. I'm hoping that they come out with some really nice deck mechanics, something that's going to be fun, or maybe some special events that is going to be, more than themes. I want it to be a special event. I want to do something fun that we can all like collectively do together. Like, it's the holidays. Let's do something interesting, right? Like a little side event or something. I don't know, but looking forward to something different. Westwolf, is it true that each card grants killer skill to itself and ultimate grants killer bonus to the whole team? Yes, that is correct. So the way this works is, I guess I'll use the cards to explain. The way it works is that whereas before your event card and your support card didn't have a killer bonus, if you don't have any other ultimate forms in place, then this card will boost itself by 200%. However, if you have the ultimate form in your team, what happens is, because it at 1 star at least will give a 400% damage, it basically eclipses all the other cards. So as soon as you have the ultimate form, it doesn't matter anymore. But if you don't have an ultimate form, that's where these other killer bonus is going to come in, because you can't stack killer skills. The thing I don't know is in ultimate bosses, but I think in ultimate bosses what happens is you can't stack the same ultimate killer the killer skills. So you can stack different killer skills, but if you have 2 cards that both have chaotic bonus, then the highest one is going to take place. All the others will not. So having an ultimate form in the end makes it no difference. Like, it basically doesn't even make any difference at all. This makes a difference to those of us who don't have the ultimate form, because the rest of the cards become more powerful. And let's see. So yeah, Whistle, I think the art deck is good too. Now, one other thing I did say I forgot to mention earlier is that at some point you might have picked up this card, and it is a dragon card. At some point, you might have picked this up. I didn't actually pick it up because I didn't want to spend the gems for it. But Volcanic Quilldrak is a fire dragon card. Now, it is Gen 2. It is, Commander, but it's a pretty nice card. What this will do is this gives you a 50% attack boost, okay, by default. And if you have 8 firepower gem 1s or higher on the board, it multiplies that by 10. And for every 10 dragon intensity, it goes up by 10%. So we've seen in Gen 2, these cards going up to like billions of damage, which was unheard of before, maybe even close to trillions. So imagine the kind of damage you could do if you had this with your Fire Dragons card. And the thing is, you do need to have Dragon Relic, which I don't really have any of. But this card, if you wanted to have fun, will actually give you a nice boost. And even if you don't use the intensity, you're still going to get a 50% damage boost, which is actually more than the damage boost you get from the ultimate form, right? And so just, like if you wanted to use on turn 2, for example, all of your dragon cards are going to get more power. You are going to lose 1/5 of your damage, but honestly, in Slayers, it's going to be like the card that deals the most damage is going to be, ones that have the 10 or 13 times bonus anyway, but it's just something a little fun to try out. So don't forget that there was a card that boosts Dragon, Fire Dragon. We now have a Fire Dragon Slayer card. This is going to, I will probably do some challenge. The challenge is how much damage can you deal with this deck? And anybody who has these cards are going to probably take home the cake. It's going to be pretty crazy. So Mike Cortez, don't tell work. Shh, mum's the word. Common William D, do you think the Christmas event will be during Water Commander or Dark Slayer? So it if I look at the next week, it's going to be the week of 17th. That's going to be right around Christmas. I think it's going to be the Water Commander event. It might be the Water Commander because it kind of goes right in between. But although technically the Dark Slayer event is going to start on the day of Christmas. That's a good question. I saw some screenshots. I thought that it was like a water card. I thought it was maybe an earth card too. I don't know. So, it's a good question. But I'm curious what they're gonna do. No real feedback on that just yet. And so that's pretty much it, I guess. For legend trials, don't forget your silver trial bosses are there's a possibility for you to earn gems. I actually earned two different times 500 gems each. So I did get an additional 1,000 gems to play with, and that's why I was okay opening up a couple tiers. But if you haven't done it, if you've been saving up, now's a good time to do that actually. And don't forget also to get your head start pack. And if you're just starting out, please don't spend the 500 gems on additional 50 levels for Slayers. You will get that in just a matter of minutes. So there is absolutely no reason why you should do that. So just get the free one and then get yourself a little bit of a extra level boost. But 500 gems is never worth it for Slayers. I talk about it every single time, and I hope nobody spends those gems on that. So let's see. Any T-Bone hats or shirts available for Christmas? Oh, I was thinking about something. So I'll keep you guys posted. I think that it would be good fun in the spirit to have another giveaway. Although these hats are not cheap. I haven't found a vendor that does hat embroidery for a reasonable price. So it's unlikely I'm going to be able to give away as many hats as I could t-shirts. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do it here or there. Do it for the other stream. Get more people to join. I could do that. I mean, I could probably do that as well. Worthwhile investing gems in the Fire Lines Revival to try and level up that deck. It depends. I mean, it is always a good deck to use. Like the Fire Line deck, if you have gems you want to spend, I would focus on the Revival deck also, because it is a deck that has long lasting value. So like if you didn't have the ultimate form for that deck, then I would say it's better to invest in that one so that you can at least get your gems. But otherwise, I would say, like generally, like once I have like one or two pink stars, I just feel like it's a trap that I usually fall into to try and get more of that, because you can't craft it anymore. So in order to level up your old ultimate forms, you have to get both the Master Collection card and the ultra rare. So it could become expensive, and they don't have the guarantee. Now, if they keep that guarantee moving forward, then I can see that moving forward, you might be able to just keep leveling up on the pink stars, because it's a guarantee. Like you don't have to chase after tier 7, so that is a good thing. But for now, I would say depends on the number of pink stars you already have. Yeah, for me, I feel like I have 2 pink stars. It's actually good enough for me. I don't need to go more. Chinese advice, you love if you give one of your shirts. So so if I don't give a shirt you don't love? No love for me if I don't do that. Okay, so I will do something. I will look into it. I think that I could at least, I do have a printing. So I do have some shirts that I have on Teespring, and they do print shirts for me. So I could order that as well. So at least that's an option. Hats, that's probably gonna be something for a very special event. This hat right here, because of the hat and because I had to pay for them to convert. So the way the embroidery works actually is if you have a graphic, they actually would have to convert that into a embroidery file. It's not just a regular file. And that cost quite a bit of money. And then they charge you the actual embroidery after that. And so, I mean, I have the graphics now, so I have that, so I can at least save on that. But it's not something I can just give away a ton of. But I'll look into it. Like if anybody knows any vendors that are into the hat embroidery business, privately message me so I can talk to them and see what I can do. And the show's the one I'm wearing. Oh dear. And so, anyways, I'll keep you guys posted, and the best way to keep up to date on any giveaways is going to be subscribing to my channel so that you can see me posting it. What I will do is I will post any information about giveaway, and if there's any drawings, any rules to the contest, etc. You will find all that out in the post on my channel. So I will make sure to do that beforehand. And so keep an eye out. So thanks for the suggestion there. I do want to give back to the community a little bit, and so we'll see what we can do. But definitely, I want to give something. I definitely want to do something a little special for Christmas, and so we definitely will be doing something along those lines. All right. And so hopefully I've answered all the questions. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me here. And if you have any questions, I am on Network app. Just, reach out to me, or if you have any questions, just, comment in the video as well. I'm going to be ending the stream here, and I'll probably be coming back online in about 10 minutes or so after about 10-minute break. It is going to be a different stream, so you're going to see something a little bit different. So that doesn't replace this, obviously. It's just something that I am also having a good time with. So come take a look and join me, and we can keep chatting there. So Korelis, your daughter still won't give up the shirt that you won. Once it's theirs, it's theirs. Yeah, I mean, like, once your kids take over something, that's it, man. So you're just gonna have to take lots of pictures of the shirt. So those shirts that I did give away, that's a slightly different design than the one I have right now. So the one I have on Teespring is my most updated one, and so that one is probably something that I will look into getting for the giveaway. And so we'll see, because at the very minimum, with a giveaway, I can at least get them to ship it to you, right? And so that's always an option that we have as well. So Merwin Atifa, welcome to the stream. Unfortunately, I am just about to sign off because it's about an hour or so after the stream, and I've given all my thoughts on this deck. And so hopefully everybody here will have a good event. If you decide to get something and you get lucky, great, you're set. And if not, if you have the piggies, then you're also set. And if you don't have any of those options, there are still other cards that I can think of which will be useful. So keep an eye out for some suggestions later on. And just a quick reminder, I will not be available this coming Thursday for the stream. I'm having a birthday celebration. My birthday already passed. It was in the past, but I was too busy, and so couldn't do anything. But we're gonna celebrate my birthday, so I'm not gonna be available. Okay, and so if I don't see you guys for Legendary stream on Thursday, I will see you guys on the next Tuesday. All right, so that's it, everybody. Thank you very much for your time. Take care, and I'll see you next time. All right, cheers.